Good morning. Happy Monday. This is our last week of school, like real learning school. So, what we're spending our time doing this week is we are going to review the topics that the Algebra 2 teachers told us that the students struggle with. So, when you go to Algebra 2 in the fall, you're expected to know everything from Algebra 1 and you're expected to know everything from geometry. And this week, we have 5 days of review, and these 5 days are the topics that the Algebra 2 teachers said are the most difficult and that students forget. So I want to make sure that we are on the ball and that when you get to class this fall, you'll know what you're doing. And so you can even keep these papers that we're doing this week, and this might be something that you want to look at the beginning of August. I highly recommend that, in fact. So here we go. And I hope that you think that this is all just like super easy. All right, so obviously this worksheet has a ton of problems. I also have another worksheet that's going to be inequalities. So we have a long video today. So let's just go through easy. I mean, gosh, okay. A lot of this might be from 8th grade. So like number 2, for example, we're not going to do every question. All right, not at all. I will tell you which questions I want you to do for homework. I'll put an HW next to them. So like number 2, so easy. Just do the inverse operation. Something plus 2 equals 14. Well, I need to cancel out the positive 2, so the inverse operation of plus is subtract, and then I do that, the addition and subtraction property of equality. So x equals 12. Okay, easy. All right. Number 5, let's do that one together. This x minus negative, remember a double negative, minus minus, make it a giant plus sign. X plus 6, so then I'm just going to minus 6, both sides. X equals negative 12. Easy? Okay, good. I want you to do number 7 for homework, so put an HW next to that. Let's do number 9. Negative 3 times x, negative 3 times something. So in order to cancel that out, I'm going to do the inverse operation of multiply. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Negative 27 divided by negative 3 is a positive 9. Okay? And then let's go to number 10. Something divided by 11 equals 3. Well, the inverse operation of division, fraction bar means division, is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 11. It's really like 11 over 1, if that helps you. X is alone on the right-hand side. 11 times 3 is 33. Okay? Number 11 takes 2 steps where you first get rid of the 4 and then divide by 3. So you can do that for homework. Number 12 is a 2-step equation. So I'm going to add or subtract first, then multiply and divide. Adding and subtracting first means that I'm trying to get the constants together. Those constants are numbers that don't have a variable with them. So this 8 needs to go over with a 35 first. So I'm going to subtract 8, right? 3x equals 27. Look, right up here. There it is. Divide by 3. X equals a positive 9. I want you to do number 13 for homework. All right, now we're getting into multi-step. Let's jump to 15. Okay, there's a parentheses in it. This is like a negative 1 on the outside. I'm going to distribute this. So just the negative 1 gets distributed. The 4x in front just kind of hangs and stays. Now I'm going to distribute. Negative 1 times x. Negative 1 times 3. So now I've got a multi-step equation. Combine like terms. I have x's on the left-hand side, and they're a 4 in front and a 1 in front. 4, take away 1. I'm not going to move anything to any other side. They're on the same side. Just put them together. 4 minus 1. 3x minus 3 equals 6. So add 3 to both sides. 3x equals 9. Lastly, get x alone. Isolate the variable, do the inverse operation and multiply. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. X equals 3. I want you to do number 16 for homework. So far you have 4 problems. 7, 11, 13, 16. 17 is fine. 18. Okay. Getting the x's together. Combining like terms, which means, okay, I do not want to move the 6x. If I moved the 6, there would be nothing left over on the right. So I actually have to move the 8x. Okay, I'm hoping all of this is ringing a bell and you think that this is super easy. Negative 70 equals 6 plus 8, 14x. Well, I know just by looking at these numbers that 14 and 7 have things in common. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 70 divided by 14. So you're going to divide both sides by 14. You can, look, 14 times 10 is 140. 70 is half of 140. So then I can then assume that half of 10 is 5. So my answer is going to be 5. Negative divided by positive is a negative 5. Okay, turn it over. Fractions. All right, not a big deal. I want to clear the fractions, which means just getting rid of them right off the bat. So on number 19, I am going to look at the common denominator between what my fractions are. I've got a 5 and a 5. So that's kind of nice. So I'm going to multiply every term. Let me do this in like blue pen so it's super. Every term gets multiplied by my common denominator. Okay, so that means 5. So I'm going to multiply 1/5 times 5. And again, it's like 5 over 1. But anyways, so what happens is I'm clearing the fractions. So these cancel. 7 times 5 will be 35. And these 5s cancel. So here we go. The 5s are gone, so it's basically like 1x. 7 times 5 is 35 minus 4x. Good. Then get the x's together. 5x equals 35. Wonderful. Divide by 5, both sides. Okay. All right, on 20 and 21, there's 2 ways to think about this. I can clear the fractions like I did, and that would mean multiplying everything by 2. I wouldn't multiply anything in the parentheses because parentheses protect things. So I'm not going to worry about that. But also, look at this. Here's another, that's one method. Multiplying by 2, both sides. The other method is noticing that 1/2, I can cut 2 in half, and I can cut 6 in half. Same thing with 21. I can cut 6 into thirds. I can cut 9 into thirds. So, but across the board, like the very best way to do this is to just clear the fractions. Be careful about the parentheses. If I multiply this by 2, not the parentheses, they're protected, and this by 2, then I'm able to cancel out. So 2x minus 6 is alone on the left equals 4x. Okay, then get the x's together. So the smaller x I'll move over. There's still a negative in front of the 6. 4x minus 2x. Divide by 2. Okay, I want you to do 21 for homework. And let's see. Let's talk about 23. Okay. A flower garden has the shape pictured. The diameter of the inner circle is always 12 feet. What are the lengths of the walkways? Okay. So basically, it's 4x tall. I have X and 12. That's how high this circular walkway is. X and 12 and X. The diameter of the inner circle is 12. What are the lengths of the walkways? So the whole thing is equal to 4x. Then each part, now I'm going to say equals that this piece plus 12 plus this piece. Top piece plus 12 plus this bottom piece. And this is how you're going to solve for x. So this then I'm going to assign for homework number 23. Okay? All right. Get the next worksheet. If you need to pause it, do that. Okay. This is inequalities. Inequalities is the same. You solve, but then I have to graph. Here's something that you might have forgotten about inequalities. An open circle on the number line is from a less than or a greater than. A closed circle on the number line, a solid circle, is if I have a less than or equal to sign underneath, greater than or equal to sign underneath. So the open circle on the number line means that the answer is not included. And it just less than or greater than. The less than or equal to closed circle, greater than or equal to, means that the answer that like the number that you're on is included. And I'll talk a little bit about it. So I'm going to give you homework on all the pages that say all the problems that say HW, and then you're going to together we're going to do the notes pages, like the ones that have little dots. That's our notes today for the video. Here we go. Solve. 2v plus 3v is greater than 0. Okay, solve for v. 2v plus 3v. 5v is greater than 0. Then divide by 5. 0 divided by anything is just 0. Whoa! Greater than. Okay. On the number line, v is greater than 0. At 0, because this is a greater than symbol, I'm going to use the open circle at 0. Let's use pen. Then it says greater than. That means all the numbers bigger than 0. 0 is not included because it's an open circle. 0 is not an answer that I could plug in. But I could plug in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and infinity, right? All those positive numbers. Okay. Number 4. Woo! Look at these multi-steps. Let's do it. You're going to have to write the equation underneath the number line, obviously. Let's just distribute right now. -1. Okay. Minus or -4 times 3. -12. -4 times minus 2k. Or -4 times minus 2k. -4 times -2k. Positive 8k. Greater than -45. Look, this -1 and this -12 are like terms. Just put them together on the same side and write the rest of my inequality. Okay. Add 13 to both sides. Add and subtract. Get the constants together first, right? 42, 32. 8k is greater than 32, but look, -45 plus 13, -32. All right, reminder. Well, it doesn't work in this situation. I don't want to confuse you. Divide both sides by positive 8. K is greater than negative 4. All right, go to negative 4. Open circle. Greater than. All the numbers bigger than negative 4. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, all that. Okay. Number 5. So, distribute first. 3 times negative 1. 3 times 4n, positive 12n. Distributive property. Greater than or equal to. Good. Get the constants together first, which means the 3 and the 51. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 48. Divide both sides by 12. Greater than negative 4. Okay? Okay, go to negative 4. This is a closed circle. Greater than. Bigger to the right. Okay, something I wanted to talk to you about. When you do like number 3 for homework, you're going to have a negative, well, same with number 1 actually. So let's just I'll do one of your homework problems with you. There is a rule in inequalities. Let's do number 1. 1k minus 2k. 1 minus 2, negative 1k. When I multiply or divide by a negative, this is only in inequalities, you switch or flip the inequality. That means that I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1 and then ding, 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 ding. Okay, the inequality flips, positive 1. The reason that it flips is because I was thinking that my answers would be near negative 1. But when I divide by a negative, all of a sudden I'm not at negative 1. I am dividing by a negative, which makes the sign change. So now I'm going to be on the other side of the 0, other side of the number line. So you have to flip the inequality because you're, by division of a negative number, you're changing all your answers from like negative to positive or from positive to negative. So now I'm in positive 1 and it's a closed circle, right? Greater than, so like this. Okay, so this is a biggie right here. It's on number 1. You're going to flip for number 3. You're going to have to switch the inequality for number 6. Man. Okay. I'm going to do 7 and 10 and 11 with you. Okay? All right, here we go. Number 7. Ooh, 7's so good. Love it. Let me change to a sharp pencil. Wow, you can't even see that. Just kidding. Let's go to pen. That's awful. You can either get the A's together first or you can get the numbers together first. I'll choose to get the numbers together first. So subtract 4. 4a is less than or equal to 5 minus 4 is 1 plus 4a. Now get the A's together. Well, I can't move this A because then there'd be nothing on that side, so I'm going to move this A over. It is a positive 4a, so subtract 4a. What? Nothing is greater than or equal to 1. I all of a sudden don't have a variable. If I have no variable, then that means that like any number that I plug in could work. Okay? So 4 plus, let's pick 3. I'm just picking 3 as a potential number. 4 plus 4 times 3. 4 plus 12. 16 is less than 5 plus 4 times 3. 5 plus 12. So 4 plus 12, 16 is less than 17. Since this is a 5, no matter what number I plug in for here, it's always going to be a true statement that this number 4a plus 4 is going to be smaller than a 4a plus 5. Plus 5 is one more. So you will always have a true statement with this, and that means all real numbers. You can, some people say, infinite solutions. Try it. You want to plug in 0? Great. Try plugging in 12. Try plugging in -1. Try plugging in -17. Whatever you want. It will always be true, and the left side will always be smaller than the right. Okay, 10. Compound inequality. 2 inequalities in 1. So this is an OR, which means that I'm going to have 2 separate sets of answers. I have a little song. I'll sing it for you at the end after I do number 10. So I have to solve these individually. -4. So now the 4's cancel. 3a is greater than 15. Divide both sides by 3. A is greater than 5. So that's one of my answers. Or add 1 to both sides. A is less than or equal to -4 plus 1, -3. So I'm going to have, let's graph them. This is an open circle. Okay, let me write this on this side too. Open circle. Less than without a line underneath it or greater than. Closed circle. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, A is greater than 5. Go to 5. It's an open circle. Greater than 5. Okay, my other set of answers are going to be less than or equal to -3. So go to -3. It's a closed circle. Less than or equal to, left. Okay, I have a set of answers that would work, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All of these numbers would work for the inequality, or answers over here, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. So here's my little song. It goes, one way or another. So either like this way, I'll get a bunch of answers that are going to work in my, or be solutions, or over here on this side, starting here, these answers will be solutions. They could plug in, okay? One way or another. The arrows go in different directions if it has a word or, okay? And let's do 11. Number 11. Oh, I love number 11 because you might have forgotten about this. I'll go super slow. The number in the middle is what I'm solving. I am trying to get the n alone. I'm trying to isolate the variable, which means I've got to do some work on the left side and I've got to do some work on the right side. Here's how compound inequalities work. When the math equation is in the middle, it's also going to be for number 12, the same thing. You're going to get rid of these numbers in the middle and you're going to, so like looking here, if I just were doing that, wouldn't you add 3 to both sides? Or look, if I were just looking at this, wouldn't you add 3 to both sides? Yeah, you would. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 to the right-hand side, this 9, and I'm going to add 3 over here. Because look, didn't you say that I would add 3 on this side if I were trying to solve? Yeah. And then, didn't we say I would add 3 if I was trying to solve here? That's why I do it on the left, the middle, and on the right. So now that gives me -12 is less than or equal to -6n, the 3's have canceled, is less than or equal to, -6. Same thinking. If I'm trying to solve like this one, I'm going to divide by -6 on both sides. And if I were going to solve this equation, I'm going to divide by -6 on both sides. So it's a compound inequality. I'm going to do the left, the middle, and the right. Divide by -6. Divide by -6 here. Divide the 12 by -6. Divide the right-hand side -6 by -6. And ding, 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 I'm dividing by a negative. Back to the front. Remember this? When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you switch and flip the inequality. That means this inequality will be here. This inequality will be here. And let's do the math. -12 divided by -6, +2. -6 divided by -6, just the n. -6 divided by -6, +1. This is good. Now I'm going to practice shading. This is an and. My arrows are going to go towards each other. One thing at a time. This, by the way, cover up. This really says, if you need to read it like the proper way, n is less than or equal to 2. So go to 2, closed circle, less than or equal to left. Okay. Oh, go here. N is greater than or equal to 1. Oh, I already over shaded. Closed circle at 1. And so my only answers, the only numbers that are going to work for this math problem, number 11, are like 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, and 2. That's it. None of these numbers would plug in and work. They would not be solutions. Okay, so your homework is then 12 and 13. Okay, today was a big day. It was a big day because I had you do solving equations with an equal sign and inequalities with a less than or greater than. Okay, when we graph solutions, don't forget about this right here. This is really important. Okay, all right, excellent, you guys. Thanks for hanging with me to the end. Your homework is the problems that I put in each W by, and you can just turn it in on Google Classroom. Bye.